Insomniac Spider-Man is out on PC and I was very much looking forward to playing it, but I won't be able to for several different reasons. So instead I'm gonna talk about another Spider-Man game that I really like, Spider-Man 2, based on the second Sam Raimi movie. For PC. Oh, I said I'm gonna talk about the game I like, I'm sorry, I lied. This video will be a little different, but let's start with the usual stuff. That is, a little backstory. So, Sam Raimi directs another Spider-Man movie, and it was pretty good, despite romantic subplot turning into a cancerous tumor. Activision capitalized on the movie's release the same way they did with the first Raimi movie, and that game was actually pretty good. It took the gameplay from the PS1 games and evolved it, made everything better, it even had cool mid-air boss fights. So then Activision released Spider-Man 2, and that game was an entirely different beast. It had an open world in the form of Manhattan where you could swing around freely, which was reinforced by the new swinging system where your web actually connects to buildings. It was a little janky but still really cool. The game even took a spin on the movie's story by completely inverting the main conflict of a drama. But that was on consoles, your PlayStations and Xboxes, not on computers. Apparently, Activision hated PC gamers for some reason and had another game entirely waiting for them, made by Fizz Factor, and the fruit of their love and labor was this. So let's dive into this. First of all, gotta give credit where credit is due. I did not expect the game to work on Windows 10, but it does. In fact, it works perfectly. So now I have no excuse not to play it. Oh joy. Also, you're seeing the proper aspect ratio, but for me it looked like this. It's not a point against the game or anything, it's just something I wanted to point out. Unlike the console version, the game starts at Octavius' presentation of his Doomsday Machine. Yeah, the devs had the nerve to just straight up take this cutscene from the console version, and even that they did badly. It omits death of Rosie, Octavius getting knocked out, and, you know, stopping the device. It's not like those are important to the story or anything. Yeah. And then we just cut to a tutorial like nothing happened.
Hey there, Spider-Man. Looking sharp as always. Alright, listen up, Fancy Pants. Let's run through the basics just in case you're not that bright. No offense.
Bruce Campbell is back to tell you how the game works at least, so that's something. But I'm gonna rob you of joy of listening to him and explain it much quicker. With the default controls, you run around with WASD, move the camera with the mouse, you jump using the right click, and dodge by pressing spacebar. For everything else, use the left click. Yes, everything else is done with the left mouse button. Web swinging, left click. Hitting enemies, left click. Webbing them up, left click. Web zipping, also left click. And there are also quick time events. Whole 6 months before Resident Evil 4. And 3 years before this.
I'm going to die.
The controls are overly simplistic. There are no different combos that actually influence gameplay. Only different animations Spider-Man uses while you left-click the enemy to death. The deepest the combo goes is you can do the spinning jump kick when you're surrounded. No pile drivers in this game.
Lucky for you, I pull my punch.
Web swinging is this. You basically aim your cursor at these swinging points and left-click to swing. There are almost zero physics involved. They even railroad you when you swing from a different angle. Once you're done with the tutorial, the story starts. Yeah, that's how all the pre-rendered cutscenes look like. Amazing, isn't it? So you just integrate the first two thugs, then chase their party wagon to the local prison. I have no idea why they would build a prison in the middle of a city, but okay. After disintegrating a few more thugs, you get to experience the first boss fight in the game.
Sounds like trouble.
Okay, I appreciate the game giving the player some trivia about the characters. What I do not appreciate is the game outright saying what to do to win. And seeing how simplistic the fight is, This feels a little insulting. Just a little. After you beat him up a bit, he runs away and gets caught by this containment field. Hey, the first movie game had a giant robot, so this isn't that far-fetched.
Stand still so I can snare you, wall crawler!
Here, Rhino. Think about
I hate killing me. Huh? You're only making me angrier!
You know what's funny? This is still better than the console version.
this main thing a little.
No good spot, Brian!
Which team's mascot are you anyhow?
Yeah. After you're done, Rhino gets up, messes up the gas station, and it's an explosion to the face for his trouble.
Gotta put these fires out. I'll catch up with you, Ock.
After you put out the fire, the game teaches you the adrenaline mechanic, which is basically this yellow gauge fills up and now you can send the baddies to the Shadow Realm with one punch. Moving on. Instead of catching up with Doc Ock like he promised, Peter goes to help Aunt May at the bank.
Come to the bank with me.
It's my pleasure, Aunt May. I'll make some time to study later.
I hope you don't spend too much time cutting classes.
Of course not. I'm a model student.
You filthy, filthy liar. He's not even ashamed of it. Just look at his eyes.
These are the eyes of a psychopath.
Peter then excuses himself, then suddenly Dr. Octopus attacks the bank.
First things first, gotta find Aunt May.
After that, you need to beat up all the bad guys and save the hostages, many of whom sound exactly the same.
Thanks, Spidey. You saved me. Thanks, Spidey. You saved me.
Thanks, Spider-Man! Thanks, Spider-Man! Thanks, Spider-Man! Thanks, Spider-Man! Thanks, Spider-Man!
You will have to go through the ventilation passages to reach some of them. I guess it's an okay way to make the player explore the stage at least. After you're done with that, you get to the Precious Metals Vault, where you confront Doc Ock and... yeah, just watch.
This is my business, Spider-Man. I warn you not to interfere.
Is this how the banks deal with security? Do they just put Simon Says puzzle on it? Man, these people deserve to get robbed. After you deal with Octavius, his thugs take Aunt May hostage again and... she runs pretty fast for an old lady.
Catch up with Ock. More gray vans. Ock sure knows how to travel in style.
You know what this means? Time for an epic car chase. Epic car chase. Wee.
Grab him!
Well, it should be a shame. That sweet lady in there could be somebody's
Not the
aunt.
face!
Thank you, Spider-Man. That's twice in one day you've saved me. Maybe I misjudged you. Have you seen my nephew, Peter?
Don't worry, ma'am. I'm sure he's just fine.
Okay, now that we have dealt with this, it's a good moment to talk about the open world element of this game. You can move freely about the part of Manhattan where you currently are, and by doing so, you will find out that the location is just a small sandbox with literally nothing going on. There is something to do, of course. You can play some challenges that usually entail jumping through hoops or collecting spider tokens under a time limit. These challenges range from alright to... this. Yeah, complete with dramatic music. Another thing you can do is look for collectibles hidden throughout the world, of which there are two types. The first one is the collection of so-called exotic spiders that give you points when you find them. Yeah, the game has points. What do? Nothing. They are just there. I guess the score influences the rank you get at the end of a mission, but who cares about that? The other type of collectible is a little more interesting. Back in the beginning, when Rhino went on a rampage, you could see some prisoners running away in the background. You can find and beat them up, and once you do, you'll get their profile that tells you what charges they were convicted on. Let's see what crime this vile evildoer committed. You know, it really hurts to see other people live your dream. Okay, let's see what other heinous crimes these people committed. Cheating during a hot dog eating contest. Leading grannies to the wrong side of a street. Flicking boogers at cars. Bad customer service. Not brushing between meals. There is a joke about New York's crime statistics hidden somewhere in here, but I guess that would be in poor taste. These collectibles and challenges can be found both in the open world sections and in separate stages, with the latter being lost forever if you don't collect them while on that stage. Okay, on with the story. The next day, Peter goes for a walk with Mary Jane, but then some asshole steals her car. Guess it's time for another epic car chase!
Something smells fishy.
You guys know what to do!
Puma?
Wait, who? Anyway, turns out it's a trap for Spider-Man. A poorly thought out one too, because Spidey just mauls everyone like an angry tiger and confronts Puma.
Thieves detained, and it's not even lunchtime.
Your day's just beginning, Spider-Man.
This boss fight somehow manages to be both engaging and lame at the same time. You need to dodge his attack, then wail on him with your combos. He occasionally also throws stuff at you. After you deal some damage to his health gauge and ego, he starts running away through the city and you have to chase him down. You follow him for a bit, then fight him some more. Rinse and repeat. Actually, chasing a villain through the city is a great setup for a boss encounter that adds some tension to it. The problem is that the fight part of this boss fight is this. Eventually, Spidey and Puma end up on the construction site where Puma starts throwing circular saw blades like shurikens, which I have to admit is pretty cool. Eventually, we chase him down to the top and have a little cage match. Unfortunately, it turns out that the whole Puma deal was a distraction so that Doc Ock can kidnap Mary Jane, because kidnapping conveniently placed damsels is what villains do apparently. Spider-Man hurries back to save her, but then the bad guys take over Oscorp.
Hey, hold the elevator!
This is the boring grey corridors and hallways portion of a game. You beat up the same two types of bad guys and save hostages. Then it turns out that there are bombs that you have to disarm by... And there is this somewhat cool looking room, I guess. Spider-Man almost catches up to Dr. Octopus, but is once again confronted by Rhino.
Remember me, Spider-Man?
This room's too small to dodge Rhino.
No it isn't. After a worse rendition of the fight from the first PS1 game, you have to break some liquid nitrogen tanks and...
Just keep talking, chump!
Heads up! Incoming!
You're only making me angrier! Blah!
Iced Rhino. Christmas just comes earlier every year.
Spidey? I am pretty sure that guy is dead now. Good.
Alright, Ock. I know you're... here? What the... Well, there goes the neighborhood.
How do you like my new playground, Spider-Man? I find it to be an improvement. I ripped your entire city apart, Webslinger.
This part is actually alright. For one, you finally get a new enemy type, mysterious robots. They have a home in energy projectile and... yeah, that's about it. You can break them by shooting them with your webs, I guess. It's not very exciting, but it's something. You are supposed to swing between these floating islands and get to the generators that create this illusion. I have no idea how this actually works in universe, but okay. There are even escaped convicts stuck around here freaking out and begging for someone to put them down.
Put me down!
Well, as a hero I guess I cannot refuse this request. Pim pom pom pom, boss time. Mysterio throws some rocks at you and you have to throw them back at him. There's this weird thing where the rocks explode in your hands for no clear reason, which is pretty annoying and caused me a lot of grief as a kid. Do it a few more times and follow him to the Flatiron Building, where Mysterio reveals his trump card, a big battle robot.
This is my ultimate weapon. You're embarrassingly outgunned. Give up now, and I may show you some mercy.
It's almost like fighting a Wily machine in Mega Man. You have to destroy the missile cannons, break the robot's big fishbowl, then break Mysterio's own smaller fishbowl. After you're done, Mysterio spills the bean and says where to look for Doc Ock.
Curse you, Spider-Man! It seems I've failed you, Dr. Octavius.
Where's Doc Ock?
You won't catch him, Spider-Man. His plan is already underway, and you were wasting your time with me when you should have been catching the train.
Real cute fishbowl. I take it he's at the train station.
So off to the train station we go.
There he is.
I'm sorry, there's no one allowed on this train. It's out of service.
So are you.
Sick burn, bro. This stage was supposed to be a big brawl, but the scripting broke for some reason and these guys all stayed tucked in their little tunnels. Maybe they thought that Spider-Man would just ignore them and move on. Well, tough luck. Anyway, our hero chases Doc Ock, who is living on a train. Here it comes. This is the game's rendition of the movie's famous train scene.
Turn back now, wall crawler, or things won't go well for your lady friend.
Let Mary Jane go. It's me you want.
And it's just Doc Ock throwing junk at you. Okay. After that, the train crashes at the pier where Dr. Octopus set up his secret base. The people on the train are probably all dead, by the way.
That's right, Spidey. Come into my web.
Alright, Doc. I know you're around here somewhere. Maybe handling this a little sneaky-like will save some wear and tear on the Spidey threads.
You'd think this means that they programmed some sort of stealth mechanic, but no, there is no stealth mechanic. Now you have to explore the area and look for the entrance to Doc Ock's secret base. Or you can just follow the arrow at the top of the screen and just move on with your day. Huh? Collectibles? No, there are no collectibles on the pier, I checked.
Ock has to be around here somewhere.
After traversing an electrified sewer passage full of these small and pain in the ass to hit turrets, you finally arrive at the last stage.
Spider-Man. This bow bodes very ill for you, Miss Watson.
Soon, my dear, you will bear witness to the greatest scientific achievement in human history.
Excluding my own creation, of course. Excluding my own creation, of course. Excluding my own creation, of course.
You mean the one where your wife got killed by a random piece of shattered glass? Yeah, that was great. The game doesn't even care about the movie it is supposedly based on anymore. Send some more goons to the afterlife, get through a simple traversal puzzle, and that's it. Final boss time.
You've meddled with my experiment for the last time, Spider-Man.
Dr. Octavius, let's not do anything crazy. Or anything else crazy.
Keep joking, Spider-Man. We'll see who has the last laugh.
You've got it all wrong, Doc.
Enough of your prattle. Now you'll pay for it.
And Doc Ock just starts throwing more junk at you. Alright at this point, whatever. Explode these thingies and beat him up, and after you're done, Octavius suddenly has a change of heart.
Spider-Man.
Dr. Octavius, your experiment has failed. Many lives will be lost unless we stop it. Tell me how, please.
Good heavens, my boy. What have I done?
Doctor?
I can still stop this. Go. Now.
Then Spidey grabs Mary Jane and they escape. Cue the credits. The game boots you into the main menu after this, but you can load the save file to start post-game free play, where you can explore around and do challenges. But let's be honest, why would you want to? Oh man, this game. I wouldn't say it's bad. It certainly isn't Mega Man X7, then again not many things are, but it is incredibly boring. It has some beats from the movie story like opening cutscene, the bank, the train, but it doesn't really follow the movie story. In fact, there is no cohesive plot here. Each chapter feels like an episode of a boring cartoon show that have some sort of overarching plot with Dr. Octopus. Man, remember Peter and Harry's relationship in the movie? This game has an Oscorp stage. What if Spidey had to work together with Harry in some sort of uneasy alliance, where Harry has to cooperate with the guy who he thinks killed his father? But nah, that would be too good for this game. And that's just the story. The gameplay isn't any better. The combat has no depth. The most you can get is tricking enemies into shooting their bodies, and I am kind of surprised this actually works. And the web swinging is this. The game is easy as hell too. You may not be able to dodge some attacks, but every defeated enemy drops health. I only died once in my 2 playthroughs for this video, and it only happened because Rhino stood in front of the door during the countdown here. The exploration barely exists and the open world segments are empty as hell. Remember how you had actual crime fighting in the console game? There is exactly one prescripted crime in this entire game. One. At least there are no stupid children who keep losing their stupid balloons all the time. So what the hell happened here? Why didn't PC get the same game as the consoles? From the info I found, there was zero indication that this was going to be the case. In fact, people only found out the PC game will be completely different less than a month before the release, because someone leaked the demo version online. The PC version was supposedly targeted at children specifically because somebody upstairs assumed that the console version would be too difficult for kids, but that's stupid. Kids can learn games. I was doing triple S combos in Devil May Cry 3 when I was a kid. It's not nuclear physics. Maybe they thought that computers at the time could not handle the game or something. Which was actually a thing publishers did at that time. But the console version already looks so much worse than the previous game, so I doubt that was the case. Maybe they didn't want to spend money on the port, but they did spend money on this entirely new version. And they even had Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst and Alfred Molina voice the characters. Either way, this is a really weird case. And you know what's the worst part? I played this game as a kid, and even worse, I enjoyed it. and neither me nor my friends knew any better. We didn't know about the console version back then, and the only internet we could get at the time was the shitty dial-up, and that was pretty bloody expensive. But then, one of my classmates actually got a PS2 with Spider-Man 2. My friends who were at his place watched him play it and told me about it, and I didn't even believe it at first. But then, eventually, I saw it for myself. The open world, the web swinging, my mind was blown. All the while, I was stuck with this mockery. Yes, indeed. This was the same feelings Christians get when they find out that there is no God. Thank you for watching this video, dear viewer. If you liked it, you know what to do. Keep on rocking, and I'll see you next time when we look at something spooky.
Pizza time.